What is up, guys? My name is Rob Donaldson, and today we are going to be doing something different because usually when I'm betting or putting out bets, the bets you see are for the next day. But with college football and with NFL, these lines are out there for weeks at a time, and they can sometimes get stale. And for us to make some money, we've really got to hit on value before the lines move. And it's an annoying process because it really does force you to sit on pending money for the duration of an entire week. But it's unfortunately the way that we're kind of forced to bet these two sports. And in this video, I'll be giving you guys our week 1 NFL bets alongside our week 2 college football bets. And man, I am very excited to talk about football. I absolutely love football. My username, RobDFB, that you guys see in my codes and on Twitter or whatever else. Obviously, a lot of people have asked me in the past, what does the DFB part mean? Well, D is for Donaldson, my last name, and then FB is for football, because that's really where I got my start. I was covering the NFL draft. I was covering the college football scene as well. And I really just fell in love with the sport, really watched a lot of seminars, was really trying to get into the coaching front in college football, football in general, that is. But, I end up in the betting front and in the real workforce, and that's just how things go sometimes in real life. But that said, before we jump into the picks, I just want to give a massive shout out to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring today's video. And if you do want to get involved with the pick'em videos that we do on this channel, or give out on Twitter, or just want to take part in similar daily contests, heading over there and use my promo code ROBDFB at sign up, and they'll match your first $100 up to 100%. But with that said, let's jump into our first pick of the day, and we're going to be starting off in the National Football League, and we are actually going to be taking a look at tomorrow's ball game. That's right, Thursday Night Football, baby. We are with less than 24 hours away from the opening kickoff of the season, and the Chiefs are really banged up coming into this game, and who knows if Chris Jones even suits up for the Chiefs as well. And with this Lions O-line, and with the complement of backs that they have right now at their disposal, I really do think they grind away at the Chiefs in this game and really make it a ball game. So let's take the Lions, getting the 5.5 points for 2 units for our first bet of the NFL season. For pick number 2, we are heading up to Denver, where we have the Broncos taking on the Raiders, and I'm very bullish on this Broncos bunch, probably as bullish as anyone out there, and at home against Jimmy Garoppolo and a team filled with drama right now, I really do think the Broncos lead off their season with a statement win. So let's take the Broncos, laying the 3.5 points for 2 units for our second pick of week 1. For pick number 3, we are heading over to Indy, where we have the Colts taking on the Jaguars, and the Colts are looking to turn a chapter on this franchise, and they have the means to do it this season, even without Jonathan Taylor in the fold, and I firmly believe that. And I'm still a believer in this O-line, and adding mobility at the quarterback position is only bound to make them look a lot better, and this defense is still loaded with upside as well, and I really do think this could be a statement game for the Colts, so let's take them, getting the 5 points for 2 units, and for an extra half unit, let's take them here on the money line as well. For pick number 4, we are heading up to Baltimore, where we have the Ravens taking on the Texans, and this is as tough as an environment as CJ Stroud can possibly walk into on his first career start, and the weapons he has around him are very underwhelming in my opinion, and I'd be very surprised if the Texans are able to muster up 2 touchdowns in this game, let alone 16.5 points. So let's take the Texans team total to go under 16.5 for 3 units for our fourth play of week 1. All right, for our final play of the week 1 NFL slate, we are heading back to Thursday Night Football again, and we are going to be eyeing that running game of the Detroit Lions. And with so many eyes on Jahmyr Gibbs, I really do think it's actually going to be David Montgomery who is doing a lot of the damage in this game, and I really do think he's going to get a fair share of touches as well, which makes his lines really intriguing to me. And I think there's a lot of ways you can really go about this approach, but given him being the viable short yardage back and a guy who I think is going to get a fair share of touches in the passing game as well, I really do think he's going to get some touchdown opportunities. So let's take him to get an anytime touchdown for 3 units for our final play of week 1. All right, now let's go ahead and transition over to week 2 of the college football season, and we're going to start off by heading down to Boca Raton, where we have the Florida Atlantic Owls taking on Ohio, and Ohio has the potential to be one of the most inept offenses in college football, while simultaneously having one of the more impressive defenses in college football on the other side. And that alone, combined with this over-under sitting at 61.5 points, makes this a real no-brainer for me. So let's take the under of 61.5 for 2 units for our first play of week 2. For pick number 2, we are heading down to Texas, where we have the Rice Owls taking on Houston, and it was an unimpressive showing from JT Daniels and the Rice Owls in week 1 going up against Texas, but I really do think this is an offense with a lot more upside than what they showed, and I still have major question marks in regards to Houston's offense on the other side. So let's take a stab here with the Rice Owls getting the 9.5 points for 2 units, and for an extra half unit, let's take them on the money line here as well. For pick number 3, we are heading down to South Carolina, where we have the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers taking on Jacksonville State. And listen, Jacksonville State has been an impressive FCS program for the past decade, and this team, especially defensively, looks like a competitive FBS program as well. So call me bullish, but I love this line here, and I really like Jacksonville State getting the 14.5 points for 2 units. And for an extra half unit, let's take them on the outright money line here as well. For pick number 4, we are heading down to Houston, where we have the Sam Houston Bearcats taking on Air Force. And both of these programs are programs that I've been a fan of for a while in the sport of football. But similarly to Jacksonville State, this line just feels incorrect, especially given Sam Houston's defense. And I get it. It's their first year in FBS, but this really does make it easy for me when you're getting 14 points. So let's take the Bearcats, getting that 14 points for 2.5 units, and for an extra half unit, let's take them here on the money line as well. All right, for the final pick of our week 2 college football slate, we are headed out to Lane Stadium, where we have the Virginia Tech Hokies taking on the Purdue Boilermakers. And I'm sorry, but you don't get better after losing a coach like Jeff Brom, and Lane Stadium is one of the most ruckus environments in college football. And additionally, Grant Wells looked really impressive in week 1, and this is a guy who really burst onto the scene 3 years back with Marshall, and I was really enamored with him. I thought he had a lot of pro potential at the time, and it's fair to say that he's had a couple rough years in a row, but there's still so much potential there, and I really do think the pieces are coming together in this game in particular for a definitive Virginia Tech win. So let's take the Hokies, laying the 3 points for 3 units for our final play of week 2. All that being said, I really want to thank you guys for checking out today's video, and if you do want to show some love, head over to Twitter and drop a follow at RobDFB. And also on this channel, we will be putting out a video for MLB as well on Thursday, so stay tuned for that. But with all that being said, y'all, I will see you in a future video. Take it easy.